All right, so I'm in the middle of a shop little upgrade here. As you can see now behind me, I have some more racks for my wood here. Now, this wall is now plain. As you can see, it's pretty plain. So I'm in the process of it. I need one main component here. That's the plywood to cut up and use it as a French cleat. Now, here is the best tip on how to save you money when you need to go buy your own big sheets of lumber, of any kind of birch plywood, sanded plywood, any 4x8 sheet. If you have a vehicle that can transport the 4x8 sheets, this doesn't concern you because you can just go to the store, buy it, and haul it away. Now, if you have a smaller vehicle, SUV, a small pickup that can't haul a 4x8 sheet, well, I got a tip for you. Now, you can either rent their vehicles, the van or the U-Haul truck that they have in their lots. That's one option. You can spend basically 20 bucks for basically about 75 minutes, I think it is, and you can haul it to your place. Now, that's one option. Second option is you can search the whole store of the person that is in charge of that saw that's over there. Now, you can never find one, right? Sometimes I get lucky, I find one. Sometimes I'm walking around and asking where is the person that can actually quickly cut it for me. Now you can go and to the project section where they have the small pieces of lumber. They're usually kind of across from where you have the rigger plywoods in most locations, I've noticed, at least the Home Depots. But over there you have 2x2 sheets, 2x4 sheets, and even a few grades there of the 4x4. Now, I just recently went to the store and I noticed for example, a 3/4 inch plywood, which is a 2x4 sheet, costs $34. Yeah, the price kind of jumped. Now, a full sheet of 3/4 inch birch plywood at the local Home Depot was basically $70. So you're kind of probably, depending on your location, you're probably looking at between $65 to probably $75, depending on where you live. That's pretty pricey for a 4x8. And then you're looking at about $34 or so for a 2x4. That's a quarter of the whole sheet. So multiply that by 4 plus add-on tax. That's pretty pricey. That's more expensive to buy those 4 sheets than actually buying a full sheet and renting the truck. But if you just need one piece or 2 sheets of it, go ahead. I need a full sheet and I'm on a budget. I gotta do it. So here's a trick to saving yourself some money and getting all the wood that you need. Now, one thing is, if you have your cut sheet of what you need, you might as well bring it with you. And if you have your cut list, you can kind of start cutting a couple pieces there. Probably not the best option, but if you're going with the grain of whatever you're building, you might take some time and at least get the rough cuts of what you need if you're not too worried about the waste of the plywood on your cuts. The tip is bring these 3 tools. A saw, whether it's one of these smaller ones or your regular circular saw. Other one will be a tape measure, and then some kind of a tool that can give you a straight edge. Like in my case, I have one of these, the Craig's AccuCuts. Now, I would bring this with me. I'll make my measurement. In my case, basically cut it in half. So I have my tape measure, measure halfway down, use that to basically make sure I have a straight cut. So then I have 2 sheets that should technically fit in my car, but I can also go one step further and then cut those also. So then I would have 4 sheets that are basically 2x4. And there you go. 1 full sheet cut into 4 pieces with 3 tools. All right, so that was a successful money saving trip. So as you guys know, I needed to get a 4x8 sheet of plywood to add on to my French cleat. So I don't have a big old truck. Didn't really want to spend $20 to transfer 1 plywood back home. So I did the next best thing, saved the extra $1 per cut for having the associates cut it, which I couldn't find any. So I brought my tools. The 3 tools that made this job easy was obviously the tape measure, a saw, and I got the little 4-inch version, and that worked out pretty well. And straight edge cuts, mine is this one right here, and that worked perfectly fine. As you can see, I made the cuts and I saved myself some money. So basically for $70, I got the full sheet versus paying about $136 if I were to get 4 of the 2x4 pieces plus tax. So that's one tip I have for you guys to save some money. Now I go home and continue on with the French cleats. So until the next tip, see you then. All right, so that's my tip, how you can save money going to these big box stores and getting the big sheets of plywood that you need for your projects, but unfortunately will not fit into your vehicle. You have the options of renting one of their rentals and spend basically $20 and then haul as many pieces as you can. Now, it makes sense if you have a whole bunch that you need of these 4x8 plywoods, even drywall for that matter, then yes, you can basically rent that $20 and then your total cost is all the sheets you have. That's the cheapest option possible. Because if you go with the hobby pieces, yeah, if you just need one little board, 2 boards, and that's all you need, that's great. But you're gonna actually pay a little bit extra for that. If you're fine spending pretty much the same price as a full sheet, about half of it, and that's all you need, more power to you. But I'm gonna say I'm on a budget. I know most of you guys are also on a budget, and that's the best way of getting what you need is basically just getting a saw and in a parking lot, make your cuts to fit in your car. So that's it. That's my tip. Hope you enjoyed this tip and you want to see more tips and tricks and projects that I build. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video.